Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Liam Bradford here with our last edition of Lakeland Hawks Hello Hawks Football. Here joined with me is Ben Ryan, and we've got a great one here between the Hawks and the Bears. Playoff implications: winner makes the playoff, loser goes home.
Yeah, Liam, tonight's a really big game for both teams. Like you said, winner goes home, or winner heads to the football playoffs, loser goes home. Both of these teams have been through a long season. The Hawks have fought hard through injury, through issues on and off the field, but they made it to here where win this game, you head to the state playoff, Liam. Huge game for the Hawks. Last one under the Friday Night Lights here at Corbett Field. Excited to be doing this with you.
Yeah, absolutely, and just an absolutely electric crowd here for senior night for the Hawks. You know, both teams coming into this one 4-4, and this is about as close as it gets. And you know, talking to Moscow head coach Rob Bafis before the game, he said that this is pretty much the championship game for them, and that's how both teams are looking at this. This is an all-or-nothing game, and you know, Coach Bafis also added that this game's going to be fought in the trenches, and that Lakeland's going to bring their all and try to muster the Bears with their physicality, and that the Bears are ready for the ground and pound run game.
Oh yeah, both these teams definitely revved up. Couple of physical football teams. Definitely be a hard-nosed battle today. Interesting to see how both of these teams deal with just really, it's a battle, won or lost in the trenches today, Liam.
Absolutely. And I talked to Coach Schroeder before the game as well. He says this is going to be their biggest game of the year. They're going to have to defend the pass. Moscow airs the ball out quite a lot, particularly to Connor Isaacson, who Coach Schroeder says is the best receiver in the league. And yeah, the Hawks are just going to have to defend that pass game this week. Without further ado, this game is about to be kicked off, Ben. And who do you think is going to win this game? What's your score prediction, Ben?
Oh man, you know, that's a tough one. Couple of tough 4A IEL teams. I don't think I picked against Lakeland yet, though, and so I ain't breaking that trend today. Last game of the season, headed for the state playoff, was the winner of this game. So I'm going to pick the good guys, Lakeland Hawks, and I'll put us on top 17-10. Low-scoring defensive game, like we said, will be battle in the trenches. Yeah,
you know, this one could go really either way. Two really physical teams that are, you know, they're going to go out there and fight hard, and I think Lakeland's going to just fight a little bit harder at home on senior night, and I think they're going to come away with the win 24-21. And how about this? As the clock's running down in the fourth quarter, Owen Forsman sends the Hawks to state with a 49-yard field goal.
Oh, I love that prediction. Owen Forsman, obviously one of the top kickers in the state of Idaho. Top talent, already verbally committed to Division I, University of Idaho, for next year. And yeah, obviously, if it comes down to a kick from Owen Forsman, the Hawks are feeling good about it.
Yeah, I'll take that one step further. He is absolutely the #1 kicker in the state of Idaho right now for high school players. Owen Forsman, he plays both sides of the ball. You see him out there right now playing linebacker. Just an absolute stud for this Hawks team, and he's going to be a difference maker in this one, you know, whether it be special teams or defense. And Coach Schroeder said defensively the Hawks are going to have to lock down on Moscow's passing game in this one. And he had a lot of praise for his quarterback, Noah Velasco, who says the quarterback, you know, he really commands their offense. And not going much of anywhere here on first down. So what are your keys for Lakeland coming into this game, Ben?
I think the keys today are, I think on the offensive side of the ball, Lakeland Hawks quarterback, I believe they're starting once again, Peyton Hillman. He's been in that starting lineup now for a couple of weeks, just a sophomore, third-string quarterback here for the Hawks. He's got to keep his head, keep his cool like he did so well last week against Timberlake in the homecoming game. The Hawks were really able to rely on his passing, which they haven't really had all season long, much of a passing attack through the air. And I think it'd be huge for the Hawks if he's able to step up today, keep a cool head, and get this team to the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say the X factor in this one is the passing game. I agree 100% with you. Lakeland's passing game has come on strong since that Sandpoint game, especially in that second half when Peyton threw 3 touchdowns.
Oh,
Dylan
wow.
Scott in the backfield. And
picked off!
Zach Kinkler making the interception on the 24-yard line, and what an excellent start to this football game for the Hawks.
Great pressure there from Dylan Scott coming off the left side. Gets right in That's Velasco. No Velasco for the Moscow Bears. Gets right in Velasco's space. Pressures him to make a quick throw a lot earlier than he thought. I'm surprised Velasco's even able to get a pass off, but there might have wanted to just hold it. And Zach Kinkler, senior for the Hawks here on senior night, able to get an interception and light this game up in Lakeland's way in a big way early on here, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. Great pass rush there by Scott, and a great job by Kinkler to just finish that one off and give the Hawks a great field position. Hillman rolling right, scanning, throwing deep, back of the end zone.
Oh! Oh, no, they say he was out. Man.
Been the catch of the
What a
season.
snag by Jaren Yeager. Triple coverage.
3 defenders.
Uses his length, man.
Pushing him out the back of the end zone. Jaren Yeager.
Oh, man. Heck of a
Randy
toss by.
Moss.
Great to see, though, that Coach Schroeder does have that confidence in Peyton Hillman once again going into this game. Obviously, like you said, Lakeland's really been able to turn around the pass game, especially since that second half of that Sandpoint game a couple of weeks ago. Good to see that they have that confidence in him to take a shot at the end zone just right out the gates here.
Yeah, I asked Schroeder about that passing offense, and he said that.
Oh, man.
Peyton Sardinia
And he fell
falling
on
on
it.
his own fumble. Schroeder not happy to hear that. He said Peyton Sardinia is going to have a big game out there today. He's going to be the X factor. Not a great start for Sardinia there, and you'll see him come off for a few plays. But yeah, he's talking about how Peyton Hillman is the reason why this passing game has improved so much, and they've finally been able to settle in as more of a dual threat offense instead of just going run heavy. And we've seen in the last 2 weeks this Hawks offense has had a lot of success. And here's another pass, weak side, Roan Riley, and picking up about 5 yards here. Riley had a lot of catches in the last 2 games. He's going to be a big factor in this one.
Oh, absolutely. Roan Riley, another senior on this team, a huge leader on the offensive side of the ball. He just makes great plays, runs great routes for the Hawks, gets open, finds the open space. Had a couple of touchdowns for his homecoming senior year last week against Timberlake, and I expect him to just absolutely continue on the trend that he is on right now.
We've got a 35-yard field goal coming here from Owen Forsman, just a little bit longer than an NFL extra point, and it is no trouble for the U of I commit. Owen Forsman boots it through with ease. So the Hawks get a turnover, pick it off, and they weren't able to get a touchdown, but just the field position alone only had to pick up 5 yards, and they're on the board early, and they get the ball to start the second half, so a good start.
Yeah, true. Solid start for the Lakeland Hawks. Jump-started by that defense. That's another one of the things of my keys to this game is the defense stepping up, because obviously this week Hawks are without running back one, Lovey Weil. Jace Taylor, who's played both receiver and quarterback for the Hawks, is injured and out for tonight's game. So I think that the offensive side of the ball is going to be struggling probably just a little bit because of those injuries, and so the defense is definitely going to have to pick up the slack, which, I mean, we've already seen they're more than capable of doing just a couple of plays into this game.
Yeah, those are huge losses for Lakeland, and you see this team's got the passion to come together and win a football game without some of their best players, but it's no easy task to go out there without the most efficient rusher in the 4AIL, in Lovey Weil, and then you've got Jace Taylor, who's just contributed to this team in every way he can this year, playing all over the place. He could be out for the rest of the season. So, the Hawks are going to have to make do without a few of their firepower pieces in this one. So what do you know about this Moscow team, Ben?
I know, kind of like we harped on earlier, it's a team that they like to go on the ground a lot. I know that Noah Velasco, he's a junior, starting Q for the Moscow Bears. They've had high hopes for him this season for sure. And I know that they're kind of an up-and-coming team. Their program as a whole has struggled for the last couple of years to get very many wins, especially in the IEL. And right there's a flag. False start on Moscow. That's one thing that I think they'll need to eliminate is their mental mistakes for sure. That can be something that can hurt a struggling team even more. It kind of kicks you while you're down. Moscow this season slightly turned it around. They've had a lot of hope for this season. Hasn't quite gone the way I think that a lot of people believed it would. That being said, obviously they put themselves in this position where they win this game, they still make the state playoffs. So really it all comes down to this game for both of these teams.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Hit the nail on the head with that one. And I think this Moscow team, they come into this game um, at 1-6. I don't think they're given enough credit for they don't have a very good record if you're looking league wise, but each game that they have made interesting. And if you look at last season where they were not really competing very much, and then you compare it to this year where they destroyed Kellogg week 1, and they've been in a lot of close games. It's just they've been a lot more competitive this season, although the record might not reflect that. And now they're getting an opportunity to travel up to Rathdrum and steal a win from the Hawks.
That was Isaacson there on the right sideline, able to pick up a few yards, make this a little bit more of a manageable 3rd and medium, 3rd and 8 here coming up for the Moscow Bears. We'll see if the Hawks can make a stop and get the ball right back to their offense.
Velasco.
Oh, wow.
Side.
Great tackle by Zach
Tackle by
Kinkler.
Zach Kinkler, and an interesting start to this one as Moscow's offense has no movement, courtesy of the cornerback, Zach Kinkler.
Zach Kinkler, super physical guy. Long and lanky, but don't let that fool you. He has plenty of strength coming behind that. I mean, as clearly displayed there on that hit from Zach. He just rejoined the football team a couple of weeks ago, and man, were the Hawks happy to have him back for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. When they needed help in the secondary, Kinkler stepped up, and he's definitely having the game of the year right here for him personally. Kinkler, interception first drive, huge tackle on 3rd down on the 2nd drive, and can't get much more productive than that to start off this game. Less than 4 minutes into this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's another mental mistake by Moscow. I believe that was I don't know what that was, if that was a false start or an out of rotation move there by Moscow. But it backs him up another 5, gives the Hawks just a little bit better field position. Look to see them try to eliminate that, because if they can't, it's going to be hard to get this win away. The 2-hour drive all the way up to Rathdrum to play a team with a much better record than they do. They'll struggle with that, I believe, if they're not able to clean up some of these mental mistakes.
Not a very good punt there. The Hawks are going to take over at the 35-yard line already, arguably in Owen Forsman field goal range. I would say this is Forsman field goal range. But that's what Moscow head coach Bafis talked about before the game. Talked about how they need to clean up the penalties a little bit if they want to win an elimination game like this. And also, he said that last week against Sandpoint, they had the ball inside the 30-yard line 6 times, and they only got 1 touchdown out of it. So looking to be a little bit more efficient in plus territory in this one. London motion, handoff to Peyton Sardinia, who barrels forward, picking up 4 on the 1st down.
And Peyton Sardinia has kind of been the 3rd option for this Hawks running attack all year. Obviously, Lovie Weil being the top guy, and Clive Hobbs being his great 1-2 punch with Lovie. But man, last week did he show out on both sides of the ball. Really proved himself. We've seen him all year make great plays. But I think Coach Schroeder really liked what he saw from Peyton. And I think that tonight Peyton's kind of the number 1 option on the ground. Obviously, Clive Hobbs will still see plenty of touches for the Hawks. But really good to see Sardinia. Obviously, he had that fumble earlier on that miscue, and there he does go down behind the line of scrimmage. But I really hope to see him start popping off in this game, especially as it goes along and some of these linemen start to suffer from fatigue, and some of these holes get blown open on the running game.
Yeah, not much help there on that one. A missed block by Braden Thierry. Offensive line just got to be better in an elimination game.
And the Hawks, like you said, are just about in Owen Forsman field goal range. I mean, we obviously, as the announcers, we believe in Owen from here, but right on the edge of where Coach Schroeder will let him kick. So it'd be nice if they can pick up a couple more. If no 1st down, just some more yardage to give Owen a little bit easier of a kick coming up here.
Schroeder said to me he'll try from 50, so I'll trust him on that one. Peyton
man.
the ball out, and it's picked off in the right near the corner of the end zone, the pylon, picked off by Connor Isaacson, and expect to see a lot more of him tonight, folks. Coach Schroeder said he is the best receiver in the Inland Empire, and Coach Bafis had high praise about him, and said, the whole offense revolves around him. So, gets the interception to flip the momentum and give the Bears the ball back, and I believe it was a touchback. So good job by him there, just going out the side of the end zone, and we'll see if he can transfer that into offense now as Moscow takes over on the 20.
Man, tough break there from the Hawks. I mean, they were in scoring position already. Like we said, Peyton Hillman just kind of decides to take a shot for the end zone, hope to get something. But, man, it couldn't have gone worse there. Throws the interception, gives the Moscow offense the ball right back, right when Lakeland could have kind of swiped momentum here at the beginning of the game. Instead, we're still kind of head-to-head here to begin this game.
Yeah, and I think with the fact that we were in field goal range, Hillman just tried to go for the touchdown, go for the end zone, and he was going to settle for the field goal if that one fell incomplete. Unfortunately, just got a little bit too ambitious with that one. Tried to find Yeager and didn't hit him at the right time, or maybe he just wasn't open. There was two defenders pretty close to him. Just Peyton Hillman being a sophomore quarterback, obviously there's going to be some learning curve there, but he has ultimately been the guy for the Hawks at QB1 this year. Velasco throwing a screen near side. It was tipped at the line and brought down in the backfield by Cash Lund. That one was hauled in by Caden Teagan, going nowhere.
Nice play there by Lund. Gets a tackle for 5 yards of loss. Add that to the 5-yard penalty they got earlier for delay of game, and bam, all of a sudden it's 2nd and 20 for the Moscow Bears inside their own 10-yard line. The Hawks defense showing up early in the first quarter, just like we said they had to.
Yeah, that's what we needed. The defense just playing excellent so far here. Velasco under pressure again and hits his check down out of the backfield. That's not going to be nearly enough for a first down, as Qual's just not able to reach the first down marker there on the check down. So this Lakeland defense bringing up 3rd down. Pretty good. What do you think is going to be the X factor for this defense to step up in this one?
I think they'll just have to keep their head, obviously, and stay fresh, keep their energy. I think that later on in games, sometimes we've seen this defense bend a little bit and even break occasionally just because, maybe because of some emotional fatigue, because of how the game's going. The offense isn't able to get the game going as Lakeland catches a break there as Toby Fry, sorry about that, drops a pass over the middle of the field, brings up 4th and 14. That could have potentially been a first down there for the Moscow Bears. But, yeah, I think this defense, they really just kind of have to stick with these receivers because I think Velasco definitely has the ability to hit them when they're open. So I think that as long as the Hawks won't open up anything in the pass game, I think the run game is secure. I like what the Hawks have, our front 7 versus their front 7.
Yeah.
So as long as we can contain the pass game, I feel good about the Hawks defense tonight.
Rowan Riley on the return. And picking up about 5 yards there, just past midfield. Nice return by Riley. And Moscow, negative yardage so far for their offense in this one. And, their offense is kind of their strong suit coming into this one. We know a lot about the pass game. Velasco has had, quite a few big games this season for Moscow. So just to see the defense go out there and play pretty stifling defense for 3 possessions so far now and just less than 7 minutes into this game, that could loom large down the line for the Hawks if they're able to keep this defense up.
I'm interested to see how Peyton Hillman comes back after throwing that interception. That can be a little bit rattling for a QB, especially as an underclassman coming into this game where it's kind of win or go home to the state playoff. And here we go, Coach Schroeder obviously trusting him, going immediately with the quarterback draw, and it works out. He gets a solid 7 yards. I really like to see him put together a good drive and gain some confidence here for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and it seems that when in doubt, Coach Schroeder likes to go with the motions in the backfield and kind of likes to mix it up. You saw Cash Lund go in motion there, faked the handoff, caught the defense off guard, and that's how you mix things up, shake it up a little bit if you're the offense. And now they could really do anything here on 2nd and 4. I like how you just trust your quarterback there. He's a tall kid, strong, able to just barrel forward for about 6 yards on first down. And botched the handoff to Dylan Scott there. Not sure whose fault that was, but Hillman's going to have to throw that away. And we've got a flag after the play, extracurricular. And
like Dylan Scott as well as Scotty Needham in the backfield there had a couple of choice words for each other. We'll see who this one's going to go against. Looks like it'll be against Needham.
Yeah, it looked like Needham, maybe said something, but it looked like he got up in Dylan Scott's face after the play, and you saw Lakeland teammate pulling Scott away from that one, maybe just trying to avoid any further trouble. But yeah, it definitely looked like it was initiated by Needham on that one. So a 15-yard penalty after the end of the play, when the Hawks really got nothing on the play. That's just a huge momentum killer for the Bears.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as their defense started making stops, oh man, here comes a bomb to Roan Riley.
A little bit strong, but
Nothing there.
better to overthrow him than underthrow him.
But yeah, as soon as this Moscow defense started making stops on plays, bam, that penalty bails the Hawks out, and that's another one of those mental mistakes that the Moscow Bears have kind of been struggling with a little bit all season, and it might be why they have a 1-6 record right now. So I think that the Moscow Bears later on in this game, I mean, they've got about three, a few quarters to save their season now, less than one full football game. So they're definitely going to have to pull that together tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, in a game like this where there's so much on the line, it's just critical that you make as few mental flaws as possible. And Moscow not doing a great job of that so far. Rolling right on the play action is Peyton Hillman. And not a very good throw there to the sideline. Miss Roan Riley, maybe some miscommunication. We have a flag down. Not quite sure what the flag is there.
Only thing I could think of would be a hole on the backside by the Lakeland Hawks. I don't know, but yeah, tough there for Peyton Hillman. He had Burmeister streaking across the middle of the field. Had him open for a second, didn't quite see him. He kind of had pressure on his face, had to boot out right. Eventually had to get rid of it. And we'll see as the official sorts things out with the Moscow head coach. And
It's going to be a flag against Lakeland.
it will be declined. So rather than the yardage, Coach Bayfus will take the incompletion and the loss of down for the Lakeland Hawks. Brings up 3rd and 10 now. The Hawks are within Owen Forsman field goal range, barring any turnovers or anything here. Hopefully they will still at least come away with 3. But it'd be great if they're able to pick up this first down and hopefully eventually find the end zone after getting great field position once again.
I think we're going to see a run here. Yep. Not a bad play call there. You see on the last 3rd down, the Hawks got a little ambitious, threw the ball downfield, went for the touchdown, and ended up an interception in favor of the Bears. Now, within Owen Forsman's field goal range, this is a no-doubter if I'm Mike Schroeder. And yeah, we see Forsman coming out on the field, anticipating a kickoff attempt, or a field goal attempt, sorry. Yeah, but we saw Will Peed come into the package there, had the jumbo package in the middle, so yeah, not a bad play call there. Oh, I will just stop talking. We've got Power I on 4th down.
Oh, shoot. Coach Schroeder looks like he's going to decide to talk about it here for a minute.
Gotta wonder what the Hawks are going to be running here. Very interesting decision upcoming for Mike Schroeder. It looks like they're within field goal range. I would have expected, hey, you see the ball's at the 25. This will be about a 43-yarder, well within Forsman's range. Not too sure. Yep, and we are seeing Forsman going out there for a field goal attempt. So, yeah, that was just another case of Mike Schroeder trying to catch the defense off guard, and he had a timeout to spare in his back pocket, and just his first timeout, he used it. And we've got a field goal upcoming here for Owen Forsman. It's going to be about 41 yards.
Oh, baby, get there. A little bit of a pop up there for Owen.
It is no good.
Oh, no,
Wide
puts it left. Dang, didn't quite have the leg that he normally has behind it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a mistake by the holder there, or I don't want to speculate, but we don't usually see that ball come off of Forsman's foot like that. Not as much power as we're used to seeing when he kicks the ball. So maybe he just got under it a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like that thing kind of floated on him a little more than they usually do. I mean, usually you see the line drives kicks from there from Owen Forsman, but that one I mean, looked like it'd almost be short, and then it ended up hooking left. It had the distance just barely, but it ended up being a little to the left. So not sure what happened there on the enforcement kicking attempt, but unfortunate there for the Hawks as they could have gone up 6-0 and extended this lead a little bit. But hopefully this defense will continue to make plays for them for sure.
Walls picking up about 2 there on first down. Moscow's offense still waiting for that big play to get going. Nothing doing yet.
And it's kind of been an interesting first quarter here, Liam. I mean, we've had first half. We've had teams both teams have struggled to move the ball. I mean, really, the only thing that the Lakeland Hawks have gotten going is that interception from Zach Kinkler, which ended up setting up an no enforcement field goal. And then the couple of times that they've gotten in no enforcement field goal range, they've almost started with the offenses. The Lakeland Hawks, right now, they're winning the field position game, but on the scoreboard, it's not really showing.
Yeah, it seems like the ball's been on this side of the field for the entirety of this first quarter. And, interesting game. But I think, what might be factoring into that a little bit is this is a huge game. Both teams came into this game knowing that they needed to get the win if they want to make it to state. And that there are a lot of emotions running high in this one. And so I think both offenses have looked a little bit stagnant so far, but I think we can expect as the game goes on and both teams start to settle into that, adrenaline a little bit more, we'll see the offenses start to settle in a little bit more. Velasco throwing over the middle, and first down of the game for the Bears. Nice catch there. Caden Teagan sliding grab, senior tight end, picking up the first down.
Yeah, we finally see Velasco connect with one of his targets. And, does some damage there for the Moscow Bears against the Lakeland Hawks. Picks up their first down. Hopefully for Moscow, they can start to get this ball moving, which, like you said, only their first down of the game. They've really been struggling on offense. But we'll see if they can start to figure out this Lakeland defense. On the Lakeland side of the ball, hopefully they don't let this rattle them and continue to make stops here against Moscow.
Quick pass by Velasco, and Isaacson catches it after picking up about 6 or 7 and goes out of bounds just past the 40-yard line. We were here last week at Corbett Field. We had a Hawks close victory against Timberlake, 28-24 here for homecoming. And I would say that game was a lot closer than expected. What are some things you think that the Hawks are going to have to do better in this one to pick up the victory and make it to state?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think last week against Timberlake, we might not give them enough credit for being the type of program they are. Really tough team. A couple of great runners in Cooper Lenz and Von Higgins on that team. Just a really solidly run program. That being said, I do think the Hawks really do need to improve. I think that I brought it up earlier, the fatigue that we saw, especially kind of later on in the game. The Hawks would give up big yardage. Didn't really give up a lot of points in the second half. But it felt like Timberlake last week was able to get a lot of momentum in the second half that almost led to them coming back after the Hawks almost sealed the deal. As they gave up some big chunk plays, especially to Cooper Lenz, who kind of had a field day here at Corbett Field. Obviously, it ended up in a loss, but I think he had 2 touchdowns and well over 100 yards last week for the Tigers. So I think the Hawks just got to tighten up on those chunk plays for sure. And then the space that they're giving these receivers, even just now, we saw a couple of plays from Moscow where Velasco was able to find receivers in quite a bit of space. I think the Hawks need to tighten up a little bit in the secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with you that Timberlake, maybe a little bit better than they're given credit for. But last week, the only thing that really allowed the Hawks to keep their season alive was, a goal line stand as well as Rowan Riley calling in 99 yards and 2 touchdowns. We see Riley Sachs getting up now after he was down for a minute or so. Hope he's all right here on senior night. Never good to see an injury, especially not to a senior on senior night.
Yeah, Riley Sachs, a tough guy. Definitely goes through a lot of hits. Puts his body through a whole lot of pain. So hope he's okay. He was able to get up under his own power. I hope it was just like a cramp or a hard hit that he'll shake off here in a minute.
Yeah, he's always sacrificing for this team.
Oh man,
Oh my
Holy
goodness.
cow.
Velasco was hit and Isaacson was simply open. Nobody was able to even come near Isaacson on that one. I don't know if it was a busted coverage or if he just ran a magnificent route, but Velasco hit and that throw sailed in the air for about 3 seconds.
I mean, that looked like a punt. I mean, golly, I saw that in the air and I was like, holy cow, we're about to get an interception. I looked down the field, no one was within 10 yards of it except for Isaacson, who's able to just kind of let it drop in on him and picks up a huge chunk play here for Moscow as they're finally in Lakeland territory, and we'll see what they're able to do with it here in the red zone.
What a bizarre quarter. And that play going nowhere. Moscow trying a little bit of trickery there with the shovel pass to George Stott, and ends up a loss of 7 on the play.
That's a big play there for the Lakeland defense, just to show that they're not going to give up, not going to quit after that chunk play. A lot of defenses, you hang your head after a big play like that. You don't really have the energy to keep it going, especially with Moscow just 10 yards from the end zone. But Lakeland really wants to get this stop here because they cannot let Moscow find pay dirt and end up in the lead in this game right now.
Yeah, that's huge. And, we get the feeling just from the first quarter that this is going to be a defensive battle. And every point is so much more important in those type of games. And, with just a 3-0 score, 22 seconds on the first quarter clock, I think it's crucial that the Hawks get a stop here. Obviously, Bears score a touchdown. All right, let's get it back, and we'll take the lead right back. But definitely got to keep them out of the end zone here if you're Mike Schroeder's defense.
Oh, yeah, great pressure there from the Hawks. As Owen Forsman, we've seen him all night on the kicking ends, able to bring down Velasco, helped out there by Landon Burmeister, also in the backfield. A couple of linebackers there for the Lakeland Hawks, able to put on the pressure, come up with a huge stop, brings up fourth and 12, fourth and goal from about the 16. Now we'll see if the Moscow Bears are able to put this field goal through and tie this game up, or hopefully we have a miss and the Hawks stay in the lead.
Or if they will kick this. I mean, we've seen a few teams this year that don't have kickers, and they'll end up just going for it here. So going to be interesting to see. We'll start the second quarter with Moscow having a fourth and goal from the 17. An interesting decision because if you don't have a place kicker at the 17-yard line, that's a 35, 34-yard field goal. That's no guarantee, for any kicker. I think we take for granted the fact that we have Owen Forsman. Yeah, he missed that field goal there, but he was able to make up for it with a huge sack there on third down. And, Forsman's not typically going to miss field goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, special teams is just a huge part of high school football. I'm really interested to see what we see here from Moscow. I mean, this is number 45 from Moscow Bears. I can't even tell you their name because not listed on the roster. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
They're able to put this one in.
This is a big one right here, a 34-yarder.
Oh, heck no.
A line drive shot with no chance.
So the Hawks will keep their 3-0 lead. Good to know for the Lakeland Hawks. The Moscow place kicking isn't looking great. That'll be huge, especially if they are able to punch in another one of these field goals. That could mean that a touchdown only ties it for Moscow as long as the Hawks are able to stop any extra point conversions. So that could come up big. Like you said, the Hawks take it for granted sometimes that we have kind of a conventional special teams. Not a lot of high school teams can say that. I mean, it's easy to take for granted because you just see that in the NFL and at the college level of football. I mean, those things are just automatic. But in high school, those are definitely valuable pieces that just can't be talked enough about.
Yeah, 100%. And I love how you pointed out that it's special teams, the conventional special teams, not just the field goal kicking. They've got the punt team out there, and we see the punter and kicker for Lakeland able to get more distance on the ball than you see a lot of time in high school. Clive Hobbs, as patient a run as you will see, picking up 10 yards.
I mean, he was almost walking behind his lineman until he finally found the hole, and bam, exploded up and got that first down. Clive, he's a really smart runner, knows when to hit the holes, and hits them hard when he does, too. Obviously, Coach Schroeder loves what he sees from him. He's been the second running option all year this year, and Yeah, I hope to see him get going in that backfield as well as Sardinia.
Yeah, just walked for a first down. And first down Hawks at the 30. Nice run there by Clive Hobbs. And we mentioned with Lovey Weil out, there's going to be guys that need to step up in that backfield. Hobbs is one of them, along with Sardinia. And here is Sardinia. Nice tackle there, not allowing him to go anywhere. That's Caden Teagan, who's already made a big grab in this one for the Bears. And he plays a good linebacker position as well.
I'll be interested to see what the Hawks do here on 2nd and long because, I mean, for as long as we've played this season, most of the time this is a running position here for the Hawks, and they do kind of set up in the jumbo set with only hands fluid out to Hillman's left. But I feel like with the way that Hillman's been swinging the ball, this could have been a pass, but it does end up being a run to the right with Clive Hobbs, kind of what we've seen so far from Lakeland, the typical run play on 2nd and long to set up 3rd and medium, which could set up either another run or a short pass.
Here's where it gets real interesting is 3rd and 6 or 7. Here's where you almost certainly would see every other team pass this football. But, Mike Schroeder trusts that run game, and that the run game is first and foremost in this offense. So, never really know what to expect. And I've learned to stop guessing.
Yeah, for real. Whenever we make a prediction about what Mike Schroeder is going to do, it always ends up going the other way, it feels like. So let's just watch and see what happens.
Yeah, he's unpredictable for sure. And we've got a toss to Peyton Sardinia going nowhere.
Another tough play there from the Moscow front line. That's, a group tackle there from Windley, Taylor, and Osband, all right back there, all over Sardinia. Brings up 4th and 7. Lakeland Hawks are probably going to have to punt this ball away.
Yeah, and when you've got Lovey Weil playing every week, handing the ball off on 3rd down is it's going to keep the defense off guard. But I don't know, just missing the running back 1 in this one, making me think that down the line the Hawks are going to start deciding to pass a little bit more. Isaacson on the return, he does it all for this Moscow Bears team, taking it out just past the 45-yard line. And where Moscow will take over with 9:14 left in this second quarter. Got a little bit of a defensive battle in this one, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely, Liam. We've talked about it earlier. Both of these teams are kind of treading water right now, not really getting much of anything. The only thing that the Hawks have been able to put on the board came off of that Kinkler interception early on in the game, almost less than a minute into this game at all. And the Owen Forsman was able to put through the field goal. But other than that, both of these teams, we saw one explosive play from Moscow that got them down to the 10, but then immediately some negative yardage that end up with them not even putting any points on the board, Liam. So I'll be really interested to see which of these defenses breaks first,
Yeah, and I've got to say, this Lakeland defense is looking a lot stronger than they have at any point this season so far. And I also, when I saw the interception and field goal start off the game, I expected that this was either going to be a little bit of an offensive shootout or that the Hawks were just going to dominate in this one. But the offenses both proceeded to turn pretty cold, and neither offense has been able to get much going in the realm of production since the Hawks put that 3 on the board. And we've got, this game is not brand new anymore. We've got 8:40 left in the second quarter, so I think we're setting up for a defensive showdown in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a pretty big 3rd down here. A little bit of the way in the second quarter. Both of these teams currently battling for momentum. If Moscow is able to get this first down, they continue with the ball in Lakeland Hawks field position. But if the Lakeland defense can get this right back, they can give their offense plenty of time here in the first half to keep setting the tone, try to get momentum going into the second half. Obviously, like we talked about earlier, they will receive the ball to start the second half. Would it be great if they're able to put some more points on the board before halftime?
Yeah, absolutely. With a state berth online after the Hawks were in state last year and a dropped pass.
Another dodge bullet for the Hawks, but another open couple of receivers. The Hawks defense is really right now just struggling to keep up with the Moscow pass game. It was one of my keys to the game earlier was we know how the Hawks will handle the run game. That's kind of to be expected. There'll be some push from both sides. But this pass game, the Hawks have really got to tighten up. Earlier on in the game, we saw especially Zach Kinkler do a great job of that. But right now, especially later on in the game, these Moscow receivers are getting wide open, and eventually they'll start catching some of these balls, and the Hawks will be hurting for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're Stott on that one, you've got to be kicking yourself after that drop. And
Oh, baby, Hawks dodged a bullet there as that
Wow.
punt nearly dropped on the head of Noah Bodak on the receiving team. He was just trying to dodge the ball and nearly came down right on him. I mean, super high punt, not much yardage. Goes about, like, I don't know, 15 yards.
yeah, special teams could be the X factor in this one. We see Lakeland has a much stronger punt game and field goal game than Moscow so far. At least just watching one punt and one field goal from Moscow. But Lakeland offense has not been able to get much going against the Moscow defense. Hillman rolling right, and he is thrown down out of bounds. A nice, clean tackle. And, you've got to be so cautious these days. We see all the time in the NFL, we see guys getting flagged for hitting the quarterback. But just a nice, clean wrap tackle there. And, yeah.
Yeah, definitely have to be smart enough to know when to lay off and when to come on for the tackle. Hillman doesn't really shy away from contact, though, which honestly makes it a little bit easier for the defense to avoid the penalty there, as it's just kind of a good, clean run, good, clean hit, clean football. Honestly, I like to see that from the refs. No late hit or anything on the sideline. Obviously, you do need to protect the quarterbacks at any level, but at the high school level, I feel like they're a little more lenient with that than you see either in college or at the pros level.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this Hawks offense just not really able to get anything cooking so far. So, and we see a holding call here and another great tackle by number 55, Sam Osmond. My goodness, the senior linebacker for the Bears wreaking havoc as we saw him bring Hillman down to the ground firmly on that last play. And, despite the Hawks' hold on that one, got another huge hit, making an impact on the defensive side.
Yeah, boy, Osmond has been in on almost every tackle, it feels like, for the Moscow Bears. Every time I look up, there's a couple of guys, and there's number 55 right there with him. And so he's been huge for them on their defense. And that hold will not help out the Lakeland Hawks, as they were starting to maybe get some momentum, churn out some yardage, and immediately turns negative. Now we got 2nd and 16 coming up for the Hawks.
Yeah, this is reminding me a lot of that game with state implications in 2020 against Sandpoint that ended in a score of 6-0. Sandpoint, just a game in late October with playoff implications. Got two 4A IEL schools duking it out with both teams. One thing that's rare, with both teams have a chance to make state with a win in this one, and that just makes it all the more interesting. Big play coming up here on 3rd and 14.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what the Hawks do here. Looks like they might go with the passes. They have 3 receivers wide out left. And it looks like it'll end up being a screen. And it looks like a double pass. Oh, Jaren Yeager's open. He's got it. Let's go, baby. Come on, Liam Bradford.
That double pass
Whoa, baby.
never ceases to impress me. We got Hillman throwing the screen to Roan Riley. Oh, you're wondering, what are we doing? Throwing a screen on 3rd and 13? Oh, just a double pass from Roan Riley to Jaren Yeager for the first down.
Man, that play is money. Roan Riley, shout out. He used to be a quarterback back in his 6th grade, 7th grade days, middle school football. And it shows out there. Got a heck of an arm. Finds Jaren Yeager wide open. Man, that double pass has come up clutch for the Hawks in a couple of big spots this season. And it keeps this drive alive, keeps the momentum in their favor. 5:45 left to go in the half. Plenty of time. Hopefully they can keep this marching, use that momentum, and find pay dirt.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Roan Riley transitioned going in from his freshman year into his sophomore year, transitioned from quarterback to wide receiver. But he has not completely, he's not just a receiver out there. He's got the ability at all times to throw the football. And now we've seen quite a few times this season the Hawks give it a go with that double pass. And that's just a great play call by Mike Schroeder, especially when you've got, a wide receiver, Julian Edelman type guy that can throw the football as a quarterback in a past life. And Roan Riley's definitely got the arm to do it.
This time the quarterback will throw. He's got Owen Forsman open, overthrew him. Landon Burmeister was almost able to make something out of nothing, but the pass does fall short. Owen out here not only for defense, not only for special teams, but now we're seeing him come in as a tight end on offense. He really does it all.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if he's getting tired playing both sides of the ball and special teams. We saw that a little bit earlier this year with Jace Taylor when he was playing quarterback, cornerback, And, then he transitioned into a receiver once Peyton Hillman won the starting quarterback job. And as I mentioned, he's a huge miss for the Hawks in this one. Hillman sprinting to his right, finds Jaren Yeager on the sideline, makes the catch, but we do have a flag down. We'll see what that is.
I'll be interested to see what this is. Because you have to think something that comes from that area of the field must be like a defensive hold. Looks like it's against the Hawks. But I can't imagine what you could have out there unless it's a legal contact from the receiver downfield. No, it will be against. The official indicates it is against Moscow. It will be against Moscow. I was confused on that one because it looked like all indications that the Hawks were backing up already. They were ready to go back, but no, it was against Moscow. There must have just been some tangled up. I was looking at the far sideline where the ball was, so I missed it. And that will move the chains. Fresh set of downs at the 30-yard line. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left here in the first half. Hawks have a chance to totally take control of this game.
I think sometimes when you're on offense and it's a run play and there's a flag, you almost just assume it's a hold. But good call by the refs there. I didn't see a hold. Throwing to Hans Pluid near side. Pluid makes a catch and picking up the first down right around the marker. Yes, he did. Hans Pluid. He's not been a big factor in the offense this season, but, trying to mix him into the game plan here on senior night, makes a nice grab, picks up a first down, and we know he has potential as a tight end.
Oh, absolutely. Hans is able to make the nice play. Doesn't go down easy. A super physical guy, obviously. He mostly shows up for the Hawks on the defensive side of the ball as one of the captains of this defense at the linebacker spot. But he makes a nice grab there, picks up the first down for the Hawks, and they keep on rolling now inside the 20.
It always amazes me the amount of weapons that this Hawks team can go to on offense. We mentioned Taylor and Weil being out, but it's just like they have an endless rotation of guys that they can go through that, can all provide. Hans Pluid, start of the season, they weren't even thinking about throwing him the ball, and now he's out there providing in the biggest game of the year.
Yeah, totally. Great to see there from the Hawks. I mean, a lot of these guys are just great athletes. A lot of them do multiple sports. A lot of them wrestle. A couple of them play basketball. Some of them play baseball. I mean, a lot of these guys are just able to do whatever it takes on any side of the ball. And I know that all of them have the mentality. They're ready to step up, next guy up as soon as wherever they're needed, wherever Coach Schroeder tells them to go. And that's a testament to both them, their character, and the character that Coach Schroeder's instilled in them throughout the season for sure.
Yeah, and while this team may not be as flashy as, you look at the team last year, just some absolute track stars on that team. But, with all the injuries, this team does not look too flashy right now, but it's just the heart and hard work and grit that this team puts into everything that they do. You see it game in and game out, guys working hard just all over the field. And, it's really a grind to be a part of this Hawks football program. And Coach Mike Schroeder is just doing it really well this year. Peyton Hillman rolling left, trying to find Jaren Yeager, goes right through the hands of number 12.
Rare drop there from Jaren.
Man, just a big miss there, unfortunate. Yeager's been a increasingly more targeted receiver in the Hawks offense as this season goes on. With Ezra Benson, absence of Ezra Benson, the receivers stepping up, guys like Ron Riley we saw last week hit the game of his life, and Jaren Yeager, we see all types of guys filtering in and out there at wide receiver. We see Cash Lund lining up on the far right side of the field here. 2nd and 10, Lund goes in motion, and they will hand it to Lund. Lund makes a nice move. Lund trying to get to the outside. He's got some space, and he was down at the 6-yard line. A huge play there by Cash Lund, picks up the first down.
Great run there by Cash, able to, I thought he might have got brought down in the backfield, but he's able to get off the first contact, turn on the jets, get explosive, get out to the left sideline, ends up getting brought down to about the 6. And here we go. The Hawks just need to punch this one in, and they're in the driver's seat right now in this 4A game that has state playoff implications for both teams.
Yeah, and talking to Schroeder before the game, he said that there's a very small chance Lakeland could make the playoffs with the loss, but they aren't thinking whatsoever about a loss. And Clive Hobbs barreling into the end zone for a Hawks touchdown.
There we go. Well put together drive by the Hawks. Couple of setbacks through penalties and everything, but eventually able to find the end zone for the first time tonight. Some great plays by Jaron Yeager. The drive kept alive on the double pass from Rowan Riley. Peyton Hillman keeps his head, finds his guys. The run game is able to find its legs a little bit, and the Hawks are on the board. Owen Forsman puts through the PAT, and the Hawks go up 10-0 here in the second quarter.
Let's go. An excellent second effort there by Clive Hobbs to just push himself into the end zone. You know, he had offensive linemen trying to drag him across that goal line, and after the end around by Cash Lund set the Hawks up with 1st and goal at the 6, Clive Hobbs finishes it off. And the Hawks, in command in a must-win game at Corbett Field.
Man, a 10-0 lead feels insurmountable right now in a game where both of these offenses have really been stagnant up until this last drive. I mean, Moscow offense was able to get inside the 10, but then immediately lost about 20 yards in 2 plays between penalties and negative yardage plays. So, man, this 10-point lead feels good, but I know that Coach Schroeder does not feel comfortable at all. Obviously, this is a must-win game for both teams. Moscow's going to come out swinging, man. They're going to look for those chunk plays. They're going to try to dial some up here. They got 4 minutes, 22 seconds left in the first half. And you know they're going to try to use every second of that to put some points on the board, on their side of the scoreboard for sure.
Yeah, and when you've got a team that's run heavy, it can be a lot harder to mount comebacks. But you look at this Moscow team, they're really known for airing the football out. Connor Isaacson, is definitely the most valuable player of this Bears offense. So I think if they're going to mount a comeback in this one, it's definitely not impossible to do, but they're going to have to do it through the air. And I think it all starts with the quarterback, Velasco. Ooh. Got a flag there on Hans Pluitt on the hit.
Man, he came just a little bit high. It was a nice, good hit by Hans. He came in hard, but might have been just a little bit too close to that head and neck area. We'll see what the call ends up being. I mean, still could be a hold against the Bears or something, but if not, then, I mean, it was a pretty tough hit by Hans. I didn't see anything dirty about it from here, but obviously the officials have a heck of a better angle than we do.
Oh, yeah, man, it's a hold for Moscow.
It is a hold. Let's go, baby. Hans Pluitt with a tough hit, clean and everything. Hold, though, by Moscow, sets him back a couple of yards. And now they will start instead of the 25 on their own 15-yard line.
Yeah, I think Moscow thought that the flag was on Pluitt, but
it was just such a hard hit. I was almost like, man, it looked clean for me, but I don't see everything that they see down there. But it did end up just being a hold against Moscow, and we'll see if the Hawks defense is able to get another stop. I mean, heck, a 3-and-out here, and the Hawks still have a chance to score.
Yeah, and with the way Moscow's offense has been going, 3-and-out is a pretty good chance. But the Hawks defense is definitely going to have to continue to buckle down. As we saw, Timberlake last week did not have much trouble getting points on the board against Lakeland. Velasco going to take it himself, and he's brought down. Nice defense there by Ryan Craner, the junior, not allowing that quarterback run to go anywhere after Velasco just decided to tuck it and run when he didn't find any of his reads.
Yeah, good pressure there from the Lakeland Hawks D-line. Really, they've been putting good pressure on Velasco pretty much all game. The interception that came earlier was really caused by the pressure coming off of from Dylan Scott. Landon Burmeister's been back there in the backfield, as well as a lot of their D-line. So that's really been crucial all night, trying to not give Velasco too much time, as it looks like there's a flag. Must have been another false start here for Moscow, which we've seen plenty of them from them today. But, yeah, if the Hawks D-line is able to keep putting pressure on him, it's going to make life for these DBs a whole lot easier. As the Moscow receivers have found spots, they've found open field and been able to get open, but Velasco hasn't had tons of time to get it to him for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And, missing Jace Taylor in this game, missing linebacker Terry Davis, the fact that this Hawks defense is playing as well as they are, I think is just a testament to this coaching staff and their ability to coach hard-nosed football teams. Picked off by Rowan Riley. That's going to be a pick six. House call. Rowan Riley, touchdown. Hawks.
And bam, once again, Velasco under pressure, makes a pressured throw. Rowan Riley able to scoop up the interception, get his 3rd touchdown in 2 games right there with a pick 6. And wow, Huge turnaround there for the Hawks. I mean, in the span of a minute, we've scored a touchdown on the offensive end for our first touchdown, and now the defense is able to get one, put these Hawks up 16-0, 17-0 pending the Owen Forsman point after. Man, huge momentum swing here for the Hawks to end the first half. And we get the ball coming out in the second half.
And interesting here, we've got Rowan Riley coming in instead. Oh, he's going to pass. I knew something was up. Riley.
And he's got his man.
Who is it? We got the 2-point conversion.
Is that Dylan? Who was that? Was that Dylan? Oh, man. Who had it? Heck of a throw by Rowan.
I believe
I didn't see who picked it up.
Hunter Averett, the sophomore.
Hunter. Wow. What a play call there from Coach Schroeder. I mean, no one saw that one coming. I think it was Hunter Averett in there as Rowan Riley. I know, usually you don't see him in there to hold. There you did, and bam. The arm of Rowan Riley once again coming up clutch for the Lakeland Hawks, able to put 2 points on the board, make this an 18-0 game. Could have been a smart play call there by Coach Schroeder, especially with what we've seen from the Moscow place kicking. Now, if Moscow isn't able to get any of these extra points, this is a 3-touchdown game for the Bears. As a huge play there by the Hawks, able to make this an 18-0 game instead of just 17.
Yeah, it was Averett after further review. 18-0, Hawks in full command after Rowan Riley's pick 6 and Hunter Averett's reception on the 2-point conversion from Rowan Riley, who's just simply doing it all in this one.
And it looked like the Hawks were just a little bit past that 40-yard line before the ball did get kicked away. Hate to see that at a high school level. You know they preach that. Make sure you're not across that line before the kicker kicks the ball. I'm not sure who on the Hawks was just a little bit early, but someone left just before the ball got kicked. I mean, the timing of that is just so hard because you want to get down the field as quick as you can, obviously, and lay some licks and make sure this return doesn't go anywhere. But then again, you know, you're backed up 5 more yards. But we'll see what the Hawks can do. Obviously, the strong leg of Owen Forsman, hopefully he's still able to boot this one away pretty well.
I just gotta love how the Hawks have turned the scope of this game around. Just minutes ago, we were talking about how this one looked like a defensive slugfest. And out of nowhere, the Hawks' defense is pulling them within get 18-point lead to start out this one. And testament to the defense. The offense has not been able to get much.
Man, nice tackle there by Cashlon. Holy cow. He was on the far left side. He was the headhunter on the far left side. He ended up curving all the way around, ended up bringing down the Moscow returner just by his shoestrings. Great tackle there by Cash.
Gotta love that effort there by Lund. You know, as a sophomore on the team, you're really just out there looking to make plays any way you can. You know, you get in there on special teams, kickoff return. That's a huge underrated play there by Cash Lund, and he's earning himself more minutes in the future for sure. And we saw him on the offensive side of the ball on that end-around handoff. Made a nice move.
Yeah, absolutely. Lund's a couple of big plays now. I think the Lakeland Hawks future is feeling good. A lot of seniors on this team, but a lot of young talent as well. It's always good to see, especially as you kind of come to the end of the season, you start thinking about the next one just a little bit. Obviously, the Hawks don't really have that in their minds, but we can as just the broadcasters.
And
wow.
Flag for pass interference.
Oh, man, it looked like there was no contact till the ball got there as Owen Forsman exchanges some words there with Isaacson. And it will end up being a pass interference call probably against the Hawks. Unfortunate as now the Moscow Bears get just a little bit of a chance here. On offense with just under 3 minutes left here in the half. Try to answer some of the momentum that the Hawks have been gaining to end the second half, or first half.
Yeah, and if you're Moscow, I think, you know, you've got to get on the board here. Kicking the ball away to Lakeland down 18 does not bode well for you in an elimination game. I think, you know, at the very least, they've got to get points on the board here. You can't go into the half with 0 points if you're Moscow right here. Velasco, quick pass. Nothing doing there. Incomplete. Intended for Sam Young. And just when Moscow's offense looks like they're going to get going, the Hawks come up with a play to slow it down. And with the game when they're down to their very skin and bones of their roster in this game. You got multiple guys missing. You got Terry Davis out on this defense. You got Jace Taylor out. The guys who get less minutes typically are stepping up in a big-time role, and there's Zach Kinkler right on cue.
Nice tackle there by Zach. He does not give a lot of yards after catch. He was a cornerback last year pretty consistently for the Hawks, lined up across from him, J-Mo Elliott, and neither of those guys really gave up many yards after the catch, which is always huge for the Hawks. For sure, brings up this 3rd and 3. We'll see if Moscow is able to convert it.
Velasco throwing to his right, incomplete, intended for number 7, George Stott, and good defense.
And I'll be interested to see here what Moscow does, because it's 4th and 3. You're able to pick it up, but really, if the Hawks are able to just stop, they could maybe get some more points on the board here. I mean, if the Hawks defense is able to get this, the Moscow punting game has not been there all game, so you got to imagine Moscow's going to go for it here on 4th. But if they can't get this, the Hawks have 2 minutes, 26 seconds, and 1 timeout.
Yeah, it's the only thing
to march down the field.
The only thing that makes sense to me here is to go for it in a win-or-go-home game, and they will. Velasco dropping back, scanning. What a huge play there with 2.5 minutes left in this second quarter from Velasco to George Stott, and a huge first down on 4th down to about the 42-yard line. Moscow's offense is in business.
Yeah, a good play there by Stott. Moscow, if nothing else, able to at least keep the ball out of Lakeland's hands probably till the end of this half, barring any big turnovers or anything like that to end this game. So even if Moscow isn't able to put points on the board, that definitely, almost definitely ensured the Lakeland Hawks weren't going to get this ball back. So underrated play there by Stott.
Yeah, but if you're Moscow here, you got to be thinking end zone, because down by 18 points going into the half, it's just not. It's doable if you're Moscow, but it's not a favorable situation. And I think if you go down there, put 7 points on the board, only down 11 going into the half, that's a much better situation if you're Moscow here. But Lakeland's defense has stepped up to the challenge. You saw it last week against Timberlake. They bent, but they never broke. And I think that's really key with this defense is, they're going to give up yards. They're not going to, stifle them on every drive, but I think the longevity of this defense and the ability to filter guys in and out and get fresh legs in there at all times really allows this Hawks defense to be effective. Velasco throws the
heads
dump
up play there
pass
by
to his
Velasco.
check down, and a guy, Toby Fry, who Coach Rob Bafis said that is going to have a big game if they want to win this one. Just a good check down option there. Did his job well.
Did that just happen, or were you planning that rhyme? A guy, Toby Fry. Man, that sounded nice. Tell me you've been planning that since we heard his name earlier.
I sometimes the flow just comes out.
Just happens naturally, huh?
I'm a freestyler. What can I say?
And here we go. Under 2 minutes now, but Moscow's kind of marching. The Hawks defense, they've got to hold strong here for another minute 58 if they want to stay in the driver's seat of this game.
Incomplete pass intended for Sam Young on that one. Just a cluster of humans right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's plays like that are what makes it easy. It makes it hard to believe the Moscow's getting the yards that they are, and easy to see why they kind of still have a goose egg up on that scoreboard. The Hawks defense has just been so disruptive of every play, especially that screenplay. Man, every single play it seems like the Hawks are able to get something on the Moscow defense, but they're just able to. They had a wobbler of a pass that ended up going for about 30 yards. And on this drive, though, they've been a little
Velasco
bit more marching.
going deep.
Oh,
and
man.
there's a flag on Clive
Oh,
Hobbs.
man.
It looked like he had the slightest grab.
So
at
far
George
overthrown.
Stott's.
Totally unnecessary penalty there from Hobbs. I do believe he got some jersey, though. And Moscow gets bailed out.
The penalty was picked up.
Oh, man. Good to see that. It might have been an uncatchable pass would be my reasoning for the penalty getting picked up there. Either that or one of the referees. It did not get picked up. And so they do end up moving 15 yards closer to the end zone now, inside the 15. Man, I mean, like I said, it feels like the Hawks have them by the neck, and then bam, something happens for Moscow, and it just stays alive. Just somehow they keep on going here against Lakeland.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Nice pass break up there by Zach. That one stays clean, no PI there.
my apologies for the guesswork on that penalty. I couldn't exactly tell what went on, but yeah, it looked like Clive Hobbs had a slight grab at George Stott's jersey, but it, as you mentioned, that ball seemed uncatchable, and it looked like once Stott realized that he wasn't going to be able to have a chance at it, he kind of just fell to the ground, and it looked like a pass interference from the referee's standpoint. But I don't know how I feel about that call.
Yeah, I mean, even Roan Riley from the backside, he was diving full out to get that pass, and it was too deep for him. So I don't know if that ball is catchable. Obviously, judgment call made by the official decides that it was, but. Here we go, 3rd and 10 now. The Hawks defense has made a couple of stops on the last couple of plays. We'll see if they're able to keep Moscow. You got to think this is 4-down territory from here, especially what we saw earlier with their place-kicking game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And being down 18-0 in a winner-go-home game for Moscow, you got to think they're thinking only end zone right now with 1:39 left in the half and Lakeland getting the ball to start the second half. We'll see what they do here on 3rd and 10.
Here's Velasco. Throwing end zone.
Oh, baby,
Incomplete.
no flags. Tell me there's no flags.
Time.
Thank you. Holy cow. Here we go. 4th and 10 now. The Hawks just need one more stop. They should get the ball and go into this halftime, hopefully with a comfortable lead if they're able to make sure the Moscow Bears can pick up these 10 yards. But you never know. Moscow's been finding stuff. I mean, man, I feel so comfortable because of the Lakeland. I say that because the Lakeland defense is just, man, feels like they're all over these Moscow Bears. But somehow Moscow's found a way to move the ball down the field. A couple of different drives, too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has been the penalties, timeout. As a timeout was called here by Moscow. We saw that last penalty that gave the Bears new life. I think the big thing with that penalty is you could have argued for a holding call there on Clive Hobbs, but it was called a PI. It wasn't holding, and that extra 5 yards on the pass interference may not seem like a lot, but going from the 17 to the 12-yard line is significant difference, as expect to see Moscow here just take a shot at the end zone, and you never know what would happen on a play like this. 1:34 remaining in the first half. Big play upcoming.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Moscow dials up. I mean, as long as the Hawks are able to get pressure on Velasco, he hasn't really had much of a clean pocket all night. When he does, though, he's able to find his guys. They find open space. Hawks DBs have done a solid job, especially later in the game, of tightening up, especially Zach Kinkler there on that backside. He's made some great plays on the ball. But we'll see if the Moscow's able to get off with a nice pass play. We've seen a couple in the game, so I wouldn't doubt that they're at least capable of picking up at least a first down, if not a touchdown here on this play.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the Hawks decide to send the house on this 4th and 10 or just drop the guys back and play defense. Velasco dropping back. Here it is. And he's sacked!
Oh, man.
Brought down by Landon Burmeister at the 20-yard line, and the Hawks take over.
They didn't even need to bring the house. Forsman ended up dropping back into coverage, and it didn't matter. Landon Burmeister uses his athleticism, his strength to get back in the backfield and brings down Velasco. He had no one open as the Hawks did drop back into coverage. 1:28 now in the half. We'll see what the Hawks do. I see some running plays in our future here, as they might just want to wind this one down, get to halftime with an 18-0 lead. I mean, really, the way they got the destination here wasn't great, or the journey here wasn't great, but man, the destination is great for the Lakeland Hawks. 18-0 going into the halftime, exactly what you were hoping in a game which is win or go home, comfortably going to the second half, and the ball.
Yeah, just an excellent start for the Hawks. Just, like you mentioned, not been the cleanest game of football, but score is all that matters at this point. Hillman rolling out right. Looked like he picked up the first. Nope, just a little bit short. 1:21 and a timeout. The Hawks do have a chance to get within Forsman field goal range, make this an even 3-touchdown game for sure.
That's true. I'm interested to see how aggressive the Hawks are with this. I think they did burn that last time out on the Moscow drive. I believe the Lakeland Hawks. So they don't have a timeout, but they do have 1:21. You get some running plays, maybe some more sweeps, especially after that play by Hillman. We'll see if they decide to be aggressive with this one and air it out, or if they do just end up deciding to run the ball. As this time they get another pass. This time to Hans Pluid. He's been picking up some yardage. Did he get out?
No,
He did not.
That is a mistake there by Pluid. Just tried to get the extra few yards. But
Hawks have got to line up quick.
yeah,
They're going in the huddle right now with 1:08 and counting. Here we go. Hillman gets him out to the line. And all of a sudden, bam, Hawks could score again here.
Hillman rolling right.
He's got sacks. He tries to find him, ends up getting out of bounds. He's under quite a bit of pressure. At least that stops the clock, if nothing else. 52 seconds left here, 2nd and 10.
Man, and this is a tough climb back for the Moscow Bears at this point moving forward, regardless of if the Hawks are able to get points on the board. That was just a huge stop down there. Great blindside pass rush by Landon Burmeister. Absolutely killed the momentum for the Bears. And now the Hawks with a chance to extend the lead. Hillman rolls right. Hits Pluid again. Pluid has been targeted quite a few times in this one, but he going nowhere. A hard hit on the play.
Nice tackle there. I believe that was Fry for the Bears. Brings down Hans Pluid. I mean, that's a big man. He ain't easy to bring down, as we've seen on a couple of these last few plays. He's able to keep Hans in bounds. And Moscow here burns the timeout. Interesting. Stops the clock here with 32 seconds left. I mean, the Hawks, in my opinion, they're still alive here to try to get some points on the board.
Yeah, Pluid looks a little shaken up after that play. Took a hit to the ribs, but they are keeping him in the offensive huddle. 32 seconds left at the 47-yard line. In your opinion, what's the, obviously you'd like to get as close as possible, but what's the yard line that you're looking to get for here if you're Coach Schroeder thinking about a field goal?
Well, you have to take into account the fact that Owen Forsman did miss one earlier. That can kind of shake your confidence. It was I know that, he's a left-footed kicker, and they usually more of the right hashes. Kick earlier had to be forced on the far left hash. I'm not sure what Owen's personal preference is, but I know that in general, left-footed kickers typically like to kick from that right hash. So I think yard line-wise, I'd like to get it to at least a 35. I'd kick it as soon as we get to the 40, just because there's not many other options. As
a high pass,
that one just sails out of bounds. Yeah. And Ron Riley's not happy about it, as he thought he was kind of open. I saw him as well there in the middle of the field. Maybe an option there for Hillman. Now I'm interested to see what the Hawks do. You got to think they'll punt it away, and they will. Just play it safe. Keep this lead. Smart play call here by Coach Schroeder. 26 seconds left. Really, you could hope for a prayer and hope to get their first down and maybe an Owen Forsman field goal make. But instead, just punt this one away. Be satisfied with what your boys did here to finish off this first half. Really only one solid drive for the Lakeland offense. Hopefully they're able to improve on that in the second half, but obviously the scoreboard has gone exactly the way Lakeland needs it to go so far this game.
Yeah, I don't think this game has gone the way anybody anticipated, but as you mentioned, results is all that we're looking for. And a huge lead going into halftime that Moscow is going to have quite a big second half to return from. Isaacson trying to get something going. The Hawks have done a great job to silence Isaacson in this first half. We've seen him just throughout this season make some electric plays for this Moscow team. He's a very bright spot of an offense that hasn't had very many, and Lakeland, their game plan was to shut him down, and first half they did just that.
Looks like we have some unnecessary roughness here from Moscow, and that'll just bring them back some more. Not that it really matters. I don't think the Moscow Bears are going to offense that hasn't really done much against the Lakeland defense. March, now they'll need to go 85 yards in 15 seconds, so we'll see what they do as the Hawks are just lined up in prevent defense. And they just hope to come away with, obviously happy with where you're at right now, maybe not happy with the execution of how you got here, but the Hawks okay with 18-0 on the scoreboard going into the half, for sure.
Yeah, and if you're Moscow, you don't want to dig yourself into a deeper hole here. This would just be catastrophic if something bad happens.
It looks like they're lined up to go deep right now. Looks can be deceiving.
It's a win-or-go-home game. But
and they will
just do the
I was like,
here.
whoa, easy there, Moscow. All the power to them if they're able to go 85 yards in about 15 seconds when they haven't been able to find pay dirt all the game. But they do end up just running it, ending the half. Hawks are up 18-0. Bit of an ugly first half, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. Hard comeback in the second half for Moscow. Lakeland doing just about everything they can in this rivalry game, in this winner-go-home game. Going into halftime and senior night, I'm Liam Bradford, and we'll be back soon.
And we are back with some more 4A IEL football action. Lakeland Hawks, Moscow Bears. Lakeland leads right now 18-0. All set to return this second half kickoff. Liam, the Hawks were able to stay in control. A little bit of an ugly game, especially on the offensive side for the Hawks. Able to punch through one touchdown, one solid drive. Other than that, though, really it's been their defense that's been setting them up. What did you see there from the Hawks in that first half, Liam?
Yeah, absolutely. And just an interesting setup first half, the way it all really went down. You know, the Hawks came out straight out of the gate, getting the interception from Zach Kinkler. And then after Owen Forsman booted the field goal through, the offense just not able to get any production going for the rest of the first quarter or the majority of that second quarter. And then they just finally started to get cooking as Peyton Sardinia, key player in this one, according to Coach Mike Schroeder, a huge return, just a patient return there going north and south and getting it past the 45-yard line.
Great blocking there for the Hawks. Really set up Levi Palace there on the far left side. Huge block, set up huge return there from Sardinia. Exactly what the Hawks needed to get this momentum. I mean, Mao, it feels like the Hawks haven't had bad field position all game yet, Liam.
Yeah, they've for as much as the offense has struggled to get going, the field position and special teams has really impacted this one. And the Hawks, the score does not reflect how this game has gone, but nevertheless, the Hawks with a commanding lead and across midfield here with a nice pass to Jaren Yeager.
Nice route there by Jaren. He definitely had a big first half. A couple of big plays for the Hawks, kept them alive in multiple different yard chunk plays. Really well run route there. I mean, he gets to the receiver going, and bam, immediately hits the button hook stop route, finds the open space, picks up the first down there for the Hawks.
Yeah, and I think this offense is going to have to run the ball a little bit better in the second half, and that's going to come from Clive Hobbs and Sardinia. Hillman on the play action, nowhere to go. 3-yard loss on the sack. Nice play there by the Moscow D.
Looked like a little bit of miscommunication there from Hillman and Sardinia. They were both. It looked like Hillman was trying to give Sardinia the ball, and Sardinia was trying to avoid it. So I don't know if Peyton thought that that was going to be a handoff or if Sardinia had the wrong play call. We can only speculate from here, as there is a Moscow player down on the field. But yeah, just a little bit of a botched play there for the Hawks. Some negative yardage, unfortunately, which hurts after the chunk play that we got there from Jaren Yeager and a great kickoff return there from Sardinia.
Yeah, definitely. And on 2nd and 15 upcoming, interesting. Like, this team typically runs the ball in this scenario, but the passing game has been going a little bit better in the last few weeks. Saw specifically last week against Timberlake, Peyton Hillman, an excellent game. He went 7 for 8, 153 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and he also added 2 rushing touchdowns. All 4 of the Hawks' touchdowns, Peyton Hillman had something to do with. So I think that him stepping in there at QB1 has really helped the Hawks' offense. Lund on the end around once again. Very similar to earlier in this game. He's got a little bit of room to the outside edge, just about at that original line of scrimmage.
Moscow kind of saw that one coming that time. Cash Lund has had a couple of successful sweeps there for the Hawks, especially down the run that got them down to the 6-yard line earlier in this game. That time they were able to get on Lund, but he still was able to pick up a solid 5 or 6 yards there for the Hawks.
Big 3rd and 9 upcoming for the Hawks. Hillman dropping back out of the shotgun. And a nice hitch route by Jaren Yeager, hauling it in on the left sideline, brought down at the 25. First down, Hawks.
Jaren Yeager, once again, just finding space and sure hands. Only 1 drop pass so far tonight on a lot of targets. The Hawks have really had to lean into him, especially with Ezra Benson being out once again this week. Obviously, Rowan Riley with 2 touchdowns last week. Moscow's defense is probably a little more expecting some big plays there from Rowan, and he's made some plays, but Jaren Yeager's definitely stepped up in a big way here for the Hawks.
Can't speak enough about the guys that are stepping up in the absence of Ezra Benson and Lovie Weil in this one. Peyton Sardinia, a little bit of another miscommunication on the handoff there, but the quickness of Sardinia helped him to pick up 7 yards regardless.
Yeah, Sardinia and Hillman are just a little bit off, it seems like, in the backfield on their little exchanges. Don't know if it's either one of theirs fault or either of them just some miscommunication there. But Sardinia and Hillman, I mean, Sardinia, a real explosive runner, still able to get 6 yards out of that. But hopefully him and Hillman can start figuring out that connection. He'll be able to bust these for some more yards later on.
Yeah, Schroeder brought Sardinia to the sideline and started coaching them up instantly. And the handoff with the fullback in the backfield, handed off to Clive Hobbs. Just a wide open hole right up the middle, down to the 8-yard line.
Great job there by the Lakeland line. I mean, all of them just blow that hole wide open. Donovan Reynolds was the front guy, though. Blasts a hole right up the middle. Clive Hobbs runs right through it as soon as he sees it. Explosive runner is Clive. We talked about earlier how he's a bit of a patient runner. You know, he waits, finds the holes, and as soon as he finds that gap, he is gone. Good, tough run there from Clive. Keeps this drive along, gets the Hawks down about the 8-yard line.
Hand off to Clive again, bouncing off the right tackle. Is he there? Just shy at the
Clive
1-yard line.
Has to have more yards, or has to have more plays that have ended at the 1-yard line than any other running back in the state of Idaho this year. I swear, every time. I mean, it's tough to see when he's not the first option running back because he always gets down there to the one, and then Lovey punches it in. And obviously that works out, and Clive doesn't really care. He's a team player. He just wants points from the board. But love to see if Clive is able to punch in another one, get his second touchdown of the night. Very deservedly so. He's been a tough runner all day for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just always seeming to be a little bit unlucky getting pulled down at that 1-yard line. And in my opinion, I would give the ball right back to him here, give him another chance, because he deserves the end zone as much as anybody. He's been running hard for the Hawks all season. And they're going to take a penalty on first down, back it up a little bit.
And that's not what you need there for the Hawks. You get down to 2nd and 1 after that tough play there by Clive, and then, I mean, all of that yardage is negated. Or not all of that yardage, sorry, but, 5 yards of that yardage is negated. You would have really hoped to just be able to punch that one easy now, but now 6 yards, plenty of downs to do it, and very doable here with the Hawks O-line firing like it is, but would have been much easier there without the penalty, and that would have been a touchdown at the 1-yard line, but instead Clive gets down to just inside the 5.
Yeah, no receivers out wide there, just 100% run. And yeah, Moscow read that one like a book. They were expecting nothing else other than run. And something that's become a little bit of a theme in our pregame interviews is the opposing team's coaches talking about how first and foremost, they've got to stop the Hawks' run game. And so far, Moscow's done it just as good as anyone has this year. Handoff to Cash Lund on the end around. And he is down at the 1.
Man, you know that Coach Schroeder's going to go for it here about 3 feet out. 3 feet out from the end zone. And Cash Lund again on that end around. I mean, everyone saw it was coming. As soon as Cash came in motion, everyone knew where that play was going. And he's still able to pick up a solid 5 yards, get us down to the 1-yard line. You got to think, though. I mean, we'll see. But I bet, yep, here comes Will Pete and Owen Forsman as the jumbo look here for the Hawks. I bet this one's jammed right down the middle. And Coach Schroeder's just going to say that my guys are going to get better points than your guys. And we'll see whether this is a sneak here from Hillman, which we've seen him do before, or if they decide to run it in. It looks like Lakeland will call a timeout and talk about it.
I say give Clive Hobbs another chance.
Give my man Clive a touchdown, man.
He's itching for a touchdown. But, seeing him get into the end zone earlier in this game, just seeing all of his hard work pay off, really couldn't see it happen for a better guy. As a backup running back on a team like this, you're going to get some touches, but it's never easy when, you're the clear second option. And that's to no fault of Clive's. He's an excellent running back, but Lovey Wild's just on a different level. But Clive's ability to, not worry about anyone else and just worry about improving and executing on the field has made him be that second back that the Hawks can go to when the defense is looking for Lovey Wild. And Clive has been able to execute better than anyone else has as a supporting cast for Lovey Wild in that backfield, and he's playing a big role in this one.
Yeah, we'll see if they end up giving it to Clive or just Peyton will just jump in himself. And it looks like they will go with Peyton.
Push.
A little bit of the brotherly shove Lakeland edition as they're able to put that one in there. And Peyton Hillman gives the Hawks an extended lead now, 24-0, 25-0, pending this Lakeland Hawks extra point from Owen Forsman. And the Hawks are easily in the driver's seat right now in the game, Liam.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lakeland Hawks, with a 24-0 lead, are just 18 minutes away from securing a spot in the 4A Idaho State playoffs, and Forsman's extra point is blocked. So it's going to stay a 3-possession game. That is very big.
And I do believe that kick is dead. Moscow players are running with it down to the other end. However, the Whitecap official did blow the play dead after the extra point is blocked. At the NFL level, that is a live ball. I'm not sure about the college level at a PAT, but I know that at the high school level, as soon as that ball is blocked and it hits the ground, it's just a dead ball. At least for a PAT, not for field goals, but for PATs.
Yeah, but a huge play there for Moscow. You know, obviously this lead feels insurmountable right now, but that really isn't the case with an offense that is this explosive. Keeping it at a 3-touchdown game with 3 2-point conversions, obviously not going to be easy, but that's huge because, you know, you feel being down 4 possessions right here, that's really hard to crawl back from. But 3 scores, just a little bit less difficult.
Yeah, very true, Liam. I mean, really, Moscow did what they needed to do there, block that PAT, just to have any hope of keeping this game alive. Yeah, like we said, Moscow obviously hasn't been able to put any points on the scoreboard at all, but if they do start putting up points, that's what they'll need, 3 touchdowns with extra points, 2-point conversions on each of them. So we'll see if they're able to come through on that now for the rest of the game, if this Hawks defense continues to make the plays that they've been making all day long.
Lakeland in command. Forsman's kick away, touchback. How many of those have we seen this year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Owen Forsman. I mean, he can put it wherever you want. He can blast it out the back of the end zone. Sometimes Coach Schroeder has him intentionally put it right down the 1 just so that the Hawks can run down and hopefully give the opposing team worse field position than the 20-yard line. But, yeah, Owen, he can really do it all there on the kickoff. And, yeah, gets the touchback there for the Hawks, and Moscow's now going to have to drive 80 yards, which we haven't really seen. Like we said, though, Moscow's offense, somehow they keep catching breaks in some ways. They've gotten penalties. They've gotten weird chunk plays. So never say never, but they haven't been able to convert it into any points yet. So we'll see what they do here in the second half.
Moscow offense in desperate need of some life here.
Oh, great play by Lund.
Goes nowhere. Cash Lund.
Man, Cash Lund making big plays both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. We were talking about earlier how the future of this Lakeland team is bright. Lund is one of those guys, man. Heck of an athlete on both sides of the ball for the Hawks. Really just can't wait to see what he does in his future years here as a Lakeland Hawk.
Yeah, absolutely. Cash Lund just putting his name on the map here. Velasco.
Oh, man, here he comes again. Oh, I thought he might
got him there, but Stott's got some room. Stott redirected, and his shoulder pad came out, but he picks up the first down. What a great play there on the second effort by George Stott, the sophomore for the Bears, picking up the first down and staying alive.
Man, Stott's one of those young guys from Moscow. You know, he's been making great plays all day. He's kind of a utility guy. He runs a little bit of like that wing back / almost tight end look for Moscow. They've gotten him some shovel passes. They've hit him out in the flat a couple times. And just shows his athleticism every time he gets the ball, it feels like. So, yeah, we'll see if he'll be a big factor for Moscow in the future as well.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a missed hold call there on the edge, and a nice grab.
Wow. Great defense there by Riley Sachs of the Hawks, but wow, just nice pass. Velasco puts it exactly where it needs to go. Nice catch there by the Moscow receiver. Picks up a solid 5 yards.
Yeah. What an effort there by Caden Teagan. We've called his name quite a bit. Not too often in high school do you see tight ends being the focus of an offense's passing game, but in this one, with Connor Isaacson being the focus, there's been quite a few balls going to the tight end, Caden Teagan, and he's produced. And Stott picking up nothing.
And there we go, like we talked about. When it's the Hawks front seven versus the Moscow front seven, I feel good about Lakeland's odds, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I mentioned earlier, just getting fresh legs in and out throughout the game. On senior night, we got quite a few defensive line seniors, just the mixing in and out. And, none of them really, particularly stand out. But when you've got 5 guys that are all big and that can all switch in and out at the nose guard position, that's going to be effective.
And here we see it again as Velasco's under pressure, but he finds his guy. That's on the far side.
Once again, it's Caden Teagan, the tight end. He's made quite a few plays. I think that's the 6th or 7th catch that he has in this one for Moscow.
The Moscow targets all night. They've done a good job of getting open, but the question is whether or not Velasco's had time to get it to him. There, he's able to use his legs and buy himself a little extra time. Finds Teagan there. First down.
Yeah, and Moscow's just been really inconsistent. They've had some life, and they've shown that they can get some stuff going offensively, especially in the pass game. But then they have a play like that just kills the momentum. They pick up a first down, pick up a big play, looks like they're going to start driving, and then they just have a busted play.
Yeah, it's really weird to watch, honestly, the almost the inconsistency of this offense. Like, occasionally they're able to, like you said, stand up, get a good solid play in, maybe a solid pass play, solid sweep to the outside. But other than that, I mean, they just look completely discombobulated out there. It feels like Lakeland is completely controlling them, but here they are marching the ball. They've came all the way down from the 20, and now they're already in Lakeland territory.
Big play upcoming here on 2nd and 10. Velasco takes the snap. A hitch route, 5-yard hitch. Nice grab there by Grayson Henrich, and he was slammed to the ground by Kinkler.
Has been making nice tackles all day long. We talked about earlier how he prides himself on not giving up much yardage after the catch, and that right there is a prime example.
3rd and medium here for Moscow. Certainly 4-down territory, but so that may affect the play call here, whether it be a run or a pass. Typically you'd think pass here, but I could see them going for a run just to pick up a few yards and make it a shorter 4th down attempt.
That's true, but right now in this drive, it feels like they get more negative yardage out of positive yardage there in their run game. Their passing game is really what's been carrying them, so I will be interested to see what they do here as they do go with the pass.
And picked off! Is that Riley? No, it's number 29 for the Lakeland Hawks, Noah Bodak.
Noah Bodak, huge interception there. Almost looks like Riley Sachs, number 28, the other safety who's normally in there. Noah Bodak, I believe that's his first interception of the year, at least that we've seen here at Corbett Field. Huge play by him. Absolutely crushes the momentum of the Moscow Bears. They were kind of marching. Like we said, they have a weird little offense that kind of trickles down the field, but they make it work. But bam, that drive put to a halt right there by Bodak on the nice interception. Good little return. Gets the Hawks the ball back. Already in Bear territory. Looking to score once again, put some more points on the board.
Yeah, Bodak, he's playing instead of Jace Taylor at that nickelback position in this game. He was going to be, asked to do a lot more than he is usually in this one. Get his first interception of the year. What a great play for Noah Bodak. Just a sophomore. And with Cash Lund and Noah Bodak out here, the future of Hawks football looks pretty bright.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Those guys, along with Peyton Sardinia, who's already made some plays. Will Peed comes in. I mean, the sophomores on this team do a great job, not just the juniors. So, yeah, just a lot of young talent. Definitely Lakeland looks good for the next couple of years, as well as having some talented seniors out there, obviously, as well.
Yeah, not too many seniors on this team, but they do definitely make an impact for sure. But this do have a bright future, I would say, of this Hawks football program out here on senior night.
Third and 6. Hawks are just right around no enforcement field goal range. Yeah, Liam will introduce you.
Hillman rolling right. Deep downfield, Roan Riley makes the catch, and there's a flag on the play. We'll see what this flag is here. Illegal man downfield on Lakeland, going to bring this one back. So Ben and I, we just talked about the bright future of this Hawks football program. This is our senior night as well. We're both seniors, and we got to have someone to carry on the tradition of these Hello Hawks broadcasts. So I'm joined here by Troy, with Troy. What grade are you in, Troy?
I'm a sophomore.
All right, and Troy's going to be joining me here on the mic. Here in this third quarter, Hawks got a 24-0 lead. And what have you seen from your home school in this one? Playing a pretty good game out here.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good game, but it's been rough on both sides. Offense has been inconsistent, especially on the Moscow side here. But, on the last play right there, Noah Bodak made a great play. And as you said before, the future of the Hawks is very bright, especially, with Cash Lund, Bodak, Hillman.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say seeing those guys step up is definitely a good sign for this coaching staff. They know that once these seniors are gone, they're not going to have to completely start from scratch because they've got some guys out there.
Yeah, especially Jaeger. He's made some big plays, especially last half.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're kicking it. 55.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, 55
Owen Forsman,
yards.
I was not even aware what was happening. This is going to be his farthest attempt yet, officially 56 yards.
Wow.
This would be a school record and a record for Owen Forsman. It is just shy.
Just short.
Oh my goodness. Man, I don't know what I was expecting there, but Forsman.
That was an ambitious move.
Yeah, man. I mean, with a lead like this, I guess it makes sense and just interesting to see Forsman boot that one away. Always entertaining to let him watch the football fly off the leg, but just a little bit shy there. Man, that would have been his career high by far. I think the longest one he's kicked so far was like 49.
Yeah, I believe. But I believe he can be a 60-yard kicker at some point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't think he would have that scholarship to U of I if they didn't see something in him at that next level. You see videos of this kid just kicking the ball 70 yards downfield off the tee, kicking 60-yard field goals in practice. He definitely has the potential to kick at the next level and maybe even beyond.
Yeah, he's a great piece right now here, as you can see, he's on defense.
Yeah, plays all over for the Hawks. Hand off there, that one goes to Stott. And what have you seen in the Lakeland defense where they've been able to shut the Bears out for the third year in a row, actually?
Yeah, they've been pretty good so far. The defense has been able to stop them pretty well, but they've had some passes get connected, but not a lot of yards after contact for them.
Yeah. Anyone specifically that you think has stepped up on the defensive side of the ball for the Hawks in this one?
I would say Cash Lund's been pretty well for them.
Yeah, I would agree. And there he is off the edge again in the face of the quarterback, just not able to do anything. Great defense there. And right on cue, Cash Lund making a play. So, barring anything spectacular in this fourth quarter, looks like the Hawks are going to have a chance to play at State. Troy, what do you think are going to be some of the X factors, for this team to be able to perform well down at State in Southern Idaho with those bigger schools?
Well, I think Owen Forsman is definitely he's definitely an X factor in that game if we do make it, which I think we should. 7 seconds, 24 lead here. It's been a great game so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and just being able to see this team fight back from all the injuries that they've endured this season and just coming out here against the rival team, Moscow, with not much struggle whatsoever. And with a packed house here at Corbett Field, the third quarter finishes a 24-0 lead. I'm Liam Bradford, and we will be right back. Hawks in command.
And here we are back with some fourth quarter action. Ben Ryan checking back in with you guys, still alongside here with Troy Paoli. Excited to call this fourth quarter. Lakeland Hawks in the lead, 24-0. Moscow Bears with the ball, however. 2nd and 6 right now. Man, exciting game right now for the Hawks. Obviously, state implications. We've been talking about it all night. Winner of this game will head to the 4A Idaho Football State Playoff.
Yeah. You know, at first I thought this was going to be a closer game, but our defense has been able to shut them out pretty nicely, and especially, you know, with those picks and stuff, it's greatly benefited us.
Oh, absolutely. The Moscow offense, they've made some chunk plays just like right here. There's a perfect
Yeah.
example. Some chunk plays, but then penalties that'll hold them back, as there was a flag in the backfield there for holding against the Moscow Bears that will march them back. It seems like every time they start to get a little something, we talked about it earlier on this broadcast, they have a little bit of a weird offense, the way that they operate. It feels like Lakeland is totally in control, and then all of a sudden they'll bust off a couple of chunk plays. But right there we see exactly why the score says what it does, as they're brought back another 10 yards.
Like you said in the last half, this Moscow team has had a lot of mental mistakes. You know, I think that's held them back a lot, you know, with all those penalties. And it's continuing in the second half here.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely been a theme all game. Penalties like pass interferences, lots of false starts, even a couple of delay of games at the beginning of the game. So, like you said, those mistakes definitely holding this team back.
All right.
And Velasco takes the snap, drops back. He's got a guy out left. And
out.
tackled immediately by
Nice.
Zach Kinkler, once again giving up no yards after the catch.
No yards after.
To Grayson Henrik there on that one. Henrik, though, able to haul it in, get some yardage, make this a little more manageable. 3rd and 7 coming up here for the Bears. We'll see what they do. You got to think they'll stick to the air game. Their running game really not being able to do much right now against the Lakeland Hawks.
You know, they haven't really been consistent with their runs. As you said, there's been a few chunk plays, but not consistent against this Lakeland defense.
Velasco drops back, looks right. He's got a man deep into coverage. No flags are thrown on the play. He had, I believe that was Isaacson, Connor Isaacson, who's been making plays for Moscow all day long on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Wasn't quite able to get it to him. We'll see what Moscow does here on 4th and 7. It looks like they're bringing out the punting team. Kind of makes sense, even though with the score being what it is, you'd almost think Moscow would want to go for it here at 4th and 7, 10 minutes left in the game. But I think that right now they're just trying to flip the field and not let the Hawks dominate here. That being said, their punts haven't really not been very successful yet
No, they have not.
today. So we'll see what the Moscow Bears are able to dial up here. And there was a pretty successful one.
That was not a bad kick.
As Roan Riley looks to field it, gets maybe a couple yards on the return, and the Hawks will start this drive at their own 36-yard line. And as this Hawks offense comes back out there, I think that right now what they really need to be focused on is gaining some momentum, especially if they're able to put this game away, to continue this season on. Because it has been a little bit of a weird, especially in the first half, where they only really put together one good drive for the Hawks. And then in this half, they have another one good drive where they've been able to march down and score a touchdown. What do you think they need to do here, Troy, to just keep this momentum rolling and hopefully keep that continuing into the playoffs?
I think they need to continue with this run game here. It's been working very well for them. You know, Peyton Hellman's been doing great passing for them since he's been starting the past few weeks, but it's been a little inconsistent. But you know, they made some big plays. But like right there, you know, that big run right there.
Yeah, exactly right on cue. Clive Hobbs explodes up the middle there for the Lakeland Hawks. Man, he has been great all night tonight, really stepping up in the absence of Lovey Weil, proving he can do it. Lakeland Hawks.
Sardinia subbing in for Will Peed there.
Yeah, obviously, Coach Schroeder was definitely looking to mostly lean on Sardinia, but Clive Hobbs showing why he's been RB2 all year long. As he's been exploding for some big chunk plays, already has a touchdown and a run that's gotten down to the 1 yard line. And this time it's Sardinia's turn as he explodes for 15 yards for the Hawks. And the Hawks are marching right now with the run game, just as you said, Troy.
Number 22, Dayton Keegan making the stop. First out of 10.
Feels good to be where the Hawks are right now, you know. Obviously, games like this with such big implications, it's nice to have a comfortable lead in the driver's seat here with 9 minutes left to go. Moscow offense really been completely stagnant almost all game long.
Yeah.
As long as the Hawks are able to keep up what they've been doing, feeling good about Lakeland right now.
Yeah, it seems very well. The communication seems to have improved a lot. You know, in the first half, it seemed there might have been a little miscommunication between Hillman and his backs behind him, but you know, it seems very smooth so far. You know, driving up the field right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scotty Needham there just kind of jumps the gun. Looked like he was trying to get a jump on the snap count and blitz up the middle. Ends up in the neutral zone. Gives the Hawks an extra 5 yards. That much closer to the end zone now as the Hawks try to punch it in for their 4th touchdown of the night. London motion once again. This time, though, they go to Sardinia up the middle. Sardinia fights for a solid 4, bring up 2nd and 1. Cash Lund, Moscow Bears have been singing all game, him on those end arounds, and they've been coming out successful for the Hawks.
Those end arounds have been key for them. I think if they do make it, when they do make it to state, I think those will be a very good play for them.
I absolutely agree. And not only do those plays help out, but they also open up plays like that where either Hillman takes it himself up the middle or is able to hand it there to another running back like Sardinia up the middle for some chunk yardage. That definitely will come up huge for sure.
Yeah. I think they'll be able to utilize Hillman's athleticism here. As you said before, he's not afraid of contact at all, you know. He's able to push forward pretty well.
And Hillman rolls out right. He's got hands fluid, throws just a little bit behind
low,
him.
yeah.
Hands not quite able to haul it in. 3rd and 1 now for the Hawks. Already well within Owen Forsman field goal range, but you'd love to see them punch in another touchdown here on the home field. Last game of the season, obviously last game for these seniors on this home field. Probably that they'll ever play, so hope that they're able to score a couple more touchdowns here to end the night.
OP back at fullback.
See what the Hawks dial up here on 3rd and 1. You're thinking another run and play here for Clive Hobbs, and that's
Yep.
exactly what it is. But he is met almost
Swallowed
immediately. He fell forward. Did he make the sticks? Man, it will be close. From my angle, it looks like he did. But no, the line judge says it will be 4th down. 4th and about 12 inches here for the Hawks as they'll try to – we'll see if they end up kicking this one. Or, yeah, it looks like they will be sticking it here with 4th and a couple of inches here for the Hawks, as they will try to get another touchdown here. 4th and 1. You got to think, I mean, bring back the brotherly shove Lakeland edition.
Yeah.
We saw that earlier as the Hawks were able to punch one in for the score, and Moscow takes the time out to talk about it. But, yeah, what have you liked to see today, Troy? What have you seen that maybe either was unexpected or you came out and was delivered on? What do you think, Troy?
I think it's been a strong offense so far. You know, I was a little worried because I thought this would be a kind of a rough game, but, you know, Lakeland's has shown their dominance so far. And, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Well.
Yeah, totally. I think that the defense has done a really great job. As we talked about earlier, the Hawks offense is missing some pieces, and they have had a little bit of trouble moving the ball. Obviously, they put up 24 points on the board, so they haven't done that bad.
Yeah.
But a big testament of that is to the defense, who did get an interception
Absolutely.
that set up a field goal, as well as a pick 6 from Ron Riley earlier in this game. So, yeah, I think the defense has definitely come up huge, and they'll definitely be needing to lean on that as playoff football comes in here in a couple of weeks. Here come the Hawks once again in that jumbo formation. I mean, right now it's Coach Schroeder saying it's my guys against your guys. We're going to get more push than you. So we'll see if Hillman does take it himself. He does. He gets shoved forward easily,
Very
picks up
nice.
2 yards, gets the first down, keeps this drive alive for the Hawks.
Yeah, it's another key thing, too. I really love this team's physicality. You know, like last year with our seniors and stuff, it was definitely more of a flashy team, but this one has definitely been stripped down, you know. You know, a lot of our younger players, you know, like our sophomores, as you said, you know, are really, especially Hillman, you know, able to push forward right there, as you see. Key factor for them.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
hand off right there, roll out. Cannot make the pass.
Yeah, maybe had Ron Riley threw just a little bit short of him, as maybe some fatigue is coming in for Peyton Hillman, as he also threw short to Hans Fluid on the last pass attempt he had.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's able to keep his cool here as Obviously, he's not under much pressure on the scoreboard, luckily for the Hawks, but they'd love to see him still perform at the high level that he's shown he is capable of doing, especially last week against Timberlake in that 28-24 win on homecoming night.
Yeah. Let's see what the Hawks bring.
Hillman takes the snap. Looking left, he's got Yeager. Yeager's being held.
Out.
No call, though. Hillman takes it himself, boots it out right, and he will get just a little bit past the line of scrimmage. Brings up about 3rd and 8 here now for the Hawks. Hillman was looking for Jaron Yeager. Obviously, I'm a
Yeah, I saw
hometown
that.
announcer here, but it looked like I couldn't even see Jaron's numbers because his whole jersey was getting pulled around
Yeah, that was.
on the hold. Missed call there maybe by the referees, but obviously Lakeland with a comfortable lead. I would care a lot more if this was a closer game.
Yeah, I think Moscow has identified that Yeager is definitely a threat in the red zone here.
Hillman, he has plenty of time. Had a guy. He had
Almost
Dylan
picked.
Scott so open in the end zone.
Yeah.
Scott couldn't believe he didn't get that ball, but Hillman went to Roan Riley, who's been a solid option for him, obviously, in the last couple of weeks, but wasn't quite able to get it to Roan. Roan was covered pretty well there by Moscow, and now the field goal unit does come out as Owen Forsman. Have a bit of a chip shot here from about 25 yards now, 28 yards now for the Hawks. He did miss on his last attempt, albeit from 56.
Yips.
This half of that distance. We'll see if he's able to put it through. And, oh, baby, did he push it right? Oh, he did. Man, that's unfortunate to see. Owen Forsman, maybe just a little bit in his own head right now as far as the kicking game goes. He's missed a couple of field goals, which he's definitely not used to.
Yeah.
A couple of them have been from deep. Cannot fault him for that, but one like that, though, you think he's got to put through. Luckily for Lakeland, this is not a game where that matters as much. But
I know. I think then one of those last kicks he got blocked, I believe.
yeah, he did get blocked earlier, so maybe Moscow's
Might have-
bringing the pressure there, gets in his head a little bit.
Might have been a part of his little get a little nervous, I think. But he'll come back, I believe.
Yeah, kicking is just so mental, you know. I mean, it's just the same mechanics over and over and over again. But
Yeah.
you see guys at the highest level shanking 22-yard kicks, just because it's just such a mental and pressure-filled role.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Owen is able to know that he's a high enough talent that he'll get over that. Hopefully. We got 5:51 here left to play in the game, and Moscow with the ball. A little shovel
Toss it
pass.
off.
Almost didn't go well. Stott able to haul it in.
Great tackle.
Just barely, but yeah, gets tackled by a swarm of Hawks about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And the Hawks defense just looking to make another statement here towards the end of the game. Make sure they don't give up any big chunk plays here to Moscow and give them any life here towards the end of the game. As he finds his man. That's out of the left side. I believe that was Sam Young there for Moscow. Velasco had plenty of time, finds Young out, plenty of open space. Picks up some yardage, makes this a little bit easier. 3rd and 8 from their own 23-yard line here with a little under 5 minutes to let go in the game.
Yeah, back at it again, you know, these chunk plays, they've been a little inconsistent, you know, like the passes. They were making a few of them, but, you know, I think Lakeland has to. Oh, here.
And there it is.
Bad snap right there.
Another mistake by Moscow that just
Yeah.
sets them back as soon as, oh, solid play there by Moscow.
Yeah.
Damn, immediately some negative yardage. Got to be frustrating for Moscow fans at home right now watching this broadcast, just to see that their offense hasn't really been able to march the ball up the field. They go from 3rd and 8 to about 4th and 15, and now they will punt it away again with 4 minutes, 20 seconds, and counting left in the game. We'll see what the Moscow punt team is able to do. They've had a couple of shaky punts, but the last one wasn't bad. And here's another solid punt. Roan Riley back to return for the Hawks. He will field it into play. Makes a nice little move. Gains about 3 or 4 yards. A little
Roughness right there.
extracurricular shove there from Sam Young. Maybe a little bit of frustration on that last poor drive there from Moscow.
Gain a few
Coming
yards
out there
right
from Young. But the Hawks will get possession of this ball right around the 50. And yeah, feeling good right now if you're Lakeland. Obviously, you want to avoid any injury. Right now, this part of the game, Lakeland's been plagued with a lot of that this season. So you'd hate to see anything like that. Don't want to write this one away quite yet. But with under 4 minutes, Lakeland Hawks are feeling good with the ball already in Moscow Bear territory here to start this drive. London motion. Hillman.
Motion again.
Hands it to Hobbs. Hobbs, man, what a hole for Clive Hobbs as he marches down the field, puts on
Still
the
pushing.
Jets, still moving all the way inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Man, Clive Hobbs, what a day here for him. Definitely been one of the biggest pieces of the Lakeland offense so far today.
Oh, yeah,
And
he's
shout out the O-line, man. It's
Able
easy to
find
see.
that hole so well. He is such a patient runner, you know, able to follow his lineman and just punch through that hole, just like you said right there.
Yeah,
Able
love
to
you.
make a big play right there.
Lovey Weil always raves about how well this offensive line does for him, as obviously he's one of the top runners. But, man, these guys have been blowing holes open for Clive Hobbs, and no one hits them harder than Clive does. So it's just great to see him really popping off right now in this game. As another handoff to Clive goes up the left side. This time some more Moscow runners. He sheds a couple, though. He gets
He's
in
in.
there. Oh, man.
Just
Down to the 1 yard line. The classic
One.
Clive Hobbs run, man. Oh, please let Clive punch this in. I brought this up
He
earlier in the
deserves
broadcast.
this. Yeah.
He has had more runs that have ended at the 1 yard line where he didn't get the touchdown. And the last time he didn't get a touchdown, Peyton Hillman ended up scrambling it in there from the 1 yard line. So I really hope Clive Hobbs is able to punch this one in because, man, has he set up the Lakeland Hawks a few times throughout this season and not quite been able to put the touchdown to his name. Like I said, though, he doesn't really care about that. He just wants to put points on the board for his team and do his part. But from our
well at
standpoint
that.
right now, I'd love to see Clive Hobbs punch in a touchdown right
yeah,
now.
for sure.
Give the Hawks a 30-0 lead. And no, it goes to Dylan Scott, man. Oh, man, right on cue. All right, good for Dylan Scott. Tough fullback, top talent there for the Lakeland Hawks, both on offense and defense. Clive not quite able to get the touchdown on that one. We see you, Clive, all your contributions there. Dylan Scott, a big body, able to punch in the touchdown, extend this lead to 30-0 here for the Lakeland Hawks. And, man, they're starting to roll. And the wheels are just about off here for the Moscow football team in their season.
Oh, yeah. Owen Forsman kicked the field goal.
PAT does go through to extend this to a 31-0 game there for the Hawks. Lead over the Bears. 2 minutes and 27 seconds left remaining. We'll see what the Moscow Bears are able to do with probably their last drive, barring any big plays or any late turnovers that could happen in this game. And it's good to see the Lakeland Hawks, you know, no matter what happens the rest of this season, they're able to end the season on a bang, as long as everything goes to plan here. Ending with a winning record here, with a win on Corbett Field in front of a whole lot of students, a whole lot of fans that came from the Lakeland community. Everyone watching here at home, we appreciate you guys. Just really exciting to watch this Lakeland Hawks football team once again. They had a great season at home this year. Only lost one game. Ended up being about 4-1 at home, I believe, was our home record. So shout out all the fans that come out here to Corbett Field and support the Lakeland Hawks for sure.
Hawks putting on a show for the fans tonight, 31-0. Here on kickoff.
And here's a little squib kick from the Hawks as it is fielded by number 20. That's Braden Olson of the Bears. And he just kind of slides down. Moscow hasn't really had a lot of luck here at Corbett Field, especially in the last 3 years. Obviously tonight right now, 31-0. And a couple of years ago in 2021, Moscow Bears here at Corbett Field beat them 59-0. And then in Moscow last year, 45-0. So between those, let's see, I'm in calculus, so I should be able to do that math. I believe that is 135 points. I'm sure my calculus teacher, Shannon Matilla, will message me in if I did that wrong in my brain if she's watching tonight. But I believe that the Lakeland Hawks have scored 135 unanswered points against the Moscow Bears in the last 3 games against them. And, man,
Wow.
that just
That is a
speaks to the
statistic,
dominance
yeah.
of the Lakeland Hawks football team, especially over this Moscow program, who's been a little bit of a struggle.
Great tackle again by Cash.
Yeah, I think this is was this their first season with a win in the last 3 years, Liam? I don't know. You might have to back me up on that. This is their first season with a win in the last 3 years, and they're currently 1-6. So Moscow, hope the best for their program. Hope they're able to start to turn it around. Obviously, in the positive direction. They got at least one win this year. But it looks like they will be going home and ending their season after this game. Probably be a long ride home to Moscow after this, as we are currently at 1 minute 50 seconds and counting. And it looks like Moscow's just going to air it out, and no chance there for the Moscow receiver, as Velasco just kind of had to give it his best shot out there on the sideline. I believe that was Isaacson once again for the Hawks. It does stop the clock, however, so we got 1:45. Clock stopped, 3rd down. The Hawks might get the ball back, Troy.
Wow.
Here we go, Velasco. Takes a snap. Looks to hand it off up the middle. That's Needham.
Takes it
Needham up the right
outside.
side. Finds a little bit of space, gets a couple of blocks. However, he is tackled inbounds, so the clock will keep rolling. It'll bring up 4th down here for the Moscow Bears with 1:30 and counting left in the game. And we'll see if they're able to convert this 4th down. If not, I think the Hawks could just knee this one out. But if Moscow's able to convert, they will keep this game alive. 1:15 left. Velasco in the shotgun, takes a snap. Looks to his right. He's got a man on the sideline. Did he complete it? Either way, he was short of the sticks. I don't believe he did. It will be Hawks possession here with 1 minute left, 31 seconds. And that's about all she wrote, as the Lakeland Hawks look like they're going to come away with a victory here at Corbett Field. And just a really commanding win. Great defensive showing as Liam Bradford comes in to hop in with my last minute and last 61 seconds here, Liam. Me broadcasting up here with you. Obviously, it's our senior year, last football broadcast. I've loved doing this with you, man. It started with basketball games our sophomore year, and here we are, man, as we watch the Lakeland Hawks. They'll probably either knee or run their way to victory here on Corbett Field, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. Proudest moment of high school for me, absolutely, is starting this whole broadcasting thing up. It's just been absolute joy these last 3 years. Be able to provide for you guys, the Hell Hawks fan base, come out here each Friday night of football season and cheer on Mike Schroeder's Hawks, as we are 44 seconds and counting away from sending this team off to state. Once again, this team has gone through ups and downs all season long, faced all types of adversity, and Peyton Hillman's knee will be the last play of the season, the regular season for the Lakeland Hawks, as they will now head to Southern Idaho for the postseason. Man, it's been a pleasure to be up here with you. I'm Liam Bradford, and what a game, 31-0. What an excellent exclamation mark on a heck of a regular season for the Hawks.
Yeah, absolutely. Cannot talk about how much I've loved doing this broadcast with you, Liam. Thank you to all y'all who are faithful viewers out there who watch the Lakeland Hawks football broadcast. It's been some ups, it's been some downs. We've been improving as we've gotten along, but we really just appreciate you guys tuning in and watching our last broadcast of the Lakeland Hawks put up 31 points and hold Moscow to 0 here on Corbett Field in their last game of the season as they head to playoff football. I'm Ben Ryan, signing out live with Liam Bradford along with Troy Paoli. We appreciate y'all for listening in. Have a great night, Lakeland fans.
Good night.